Hello, we're the Jensens, Trent and Tara Jensen. Welcome to our backyard / little farm. We're going to show you some tips today about gardening. Right now it's the 1st of March, getting warm, so it's time to get ready for some gardening. All winter long we've had been prepping our soil. So if you look down here, these 2 rows are our garden, and we added our leaves to it last fall, and then we put horse manure on it. If it's a new garden spot that you're going to do a garden at, you don't need to worry about too much manure or anything. But if it's an older one where we've had a garden here for a couple of years, we always add extra manure. Horse manure is a good manure to throw on. It's not too hot. Sometimes cattle manure is a little hard and hot. So anyway, you can just see we just layered it on top, and as it snows, the moisture just pushes all the good stuff down into the soil. Over here you can see we have some plastic laid down. We've been harvesting our garden all winter. It's underneath here we have our potatoes and our carrots, so as we needed them we just pull back the tarp a little bit. I put a little straw down for some insulation, and all of a sudden you come up with some potatoes and carrots here. You can see that we've dug them back a little bit, but if I dig down right here, you'll see the fruits of our last year's labor, and we got to get them out of the ground now because it's starting to get too warm. So this time of year there's a few things you want to get planted right away, and Tara's going to talk a little bit about what you can plant in March.
So one other thing with the soil, now that we've put all this on the top, we also rototill it in first thing right away, and get that all moved. Sometimes we rototill it 1 or 2 times before we plant. Some other things that we do, let me grab these, is we also add this iron chelate. We found that the pH in our soil is a little bit low, and if especially our raspberries, our peas, and our tomatoes, if they started getting a little yellowy, we make sure we put this iron chelate down, and it really helps those vegetables to grow to their best of their ability there. So some early things that you can plant in March are peas. I like Joe's Greenhouse. It's just over there in Kaysville, right across from Dairy Queen. They package these up. They're the seeds from this year. They're packaged in 2021, which is nice, so you know that they're going to emerge. This is only a ½ pound. This is perfect for our family's needs, and it's only $3, so it's awesome. So first we first get a piece of paper out and we mark out what we want to plant, and we rotate where we're going to put different things in our garden. So last year we planted our peas here, so this year we'd probably move them down to another section, but we usually do 2 rows, and then do you want to tell them what we do with the posts so that they can grow up?
Yeah, we just put a T-post on each end of the rows and then run some string across it so that the vines have a little bit to hang on to, and if not, peas like to grow up and they'll fall over, but if they have a little bit to hang on to, they'll grow up, and then when you're picking them, you don't have to pick them up off the ground. They're held up in the air a little bit.
There's several different kinds of peas. I like the Sugar Daddy. They're a sweeter pea, and you can eat the pea as well as the pod, and so that's nice. Our family loves them. We'll just come and pick and eat them right out of the garden. Our dog even loves them. He'll come and eat them right off the vine, so it's kind of funny.
Sharing.
Yeah, we're sharing. So some other things that you can plant early that they love the cool weather is spinach as well as lettuce. And so these you can put in the ground right now in March, and as soon as it starts to get hot, they'll kind of die off. And then you can also plant them again in the fall, so it's nice because they're a crop you can do twice a year. We like to plant them in areas where we have, because they won't last the whole year and we don't want them taking up garden space that won't be used. We'll plant like a viney type plant, like a watermelon or a cantaloupe or pumpkins or a squash in the same area, so that as those die out and we pull them out, those vines can take over that area, so we're not wasting garden space. So these we're going to go ahead and start planting probably this week and get in the ground. So I took a picture over at Joe's greenhouse, some of the other plants that you can start putting in March. So there's asparagus, rhubarb, broccoli, cabbage, onions, peas, radishes, spinach, and tomatoes. So those are your early ones you can start doing right now in March. In April, you can put in your beets, your carrots, which you can harvest all year round, which is awesome. Parsley, potatoes, Swiss chard, and then all your other tender leaf plants you do after Mother's Day. So that would be your tomatoes and your peppers, and squash, all those, everything else. So we wanted to just finish up by telling you a little bit about doing potatoes. So do you want to tell them kind of how we've done the potatoes and how many we do?
Yeah, so across here we're about 4 feet wide. We have two plants wide, so you have plenty of room. All the potatoes grow on the root of the plant. The other thing we found is if you dig down and start low, and as the plant grows, just keep filling in the dirt on top of it. Pretty soon you'll have a mound, and by the end of the year you'll have a whole mound of potatoes because the root system will be a big root system. And then, of course, before it freezes, just cover it up like we did here with a little bit of straw to insulate them, some plastic to keep the ground dry, and you'll have potatoes all winter long.
So how you do the potatoes, you can buy these at Joe's greenhouse, different varieties. We did the red potatoes this year. Last year I think we did the russet. But so just whatever kinds you like. They also have the Yukon over there.
Red's the best.
We really like the red. So you get kind of a potato that looks kind of old and it's a little bit soft and is starting to sprout. And in each hole you want it about 12 inches wide. You put one potato with, it has to have at least 3 eyes. So you can actually cut these in half and use more than one potato for each hole, to put in your different holes. But you want it to have at least 3 eyes, and then you bury that, and like Trent was saying, then you add dirt as it starts to emerge so that you get that deeper root system. So we love doing the potatoes and carrots. We've had a great garden here every year, and it really pays off to even start so early in March, and then you can, some of these like the spinach and peas you can plant again in the fall. So anyway, hope you enjoyed our little tips here at the Jensen garden, and we'll see you later.
Bye.